Did you know? Every day, a brand new story. Hidden truths and untold glory. Facts that change the way you see. Did you know daily? What will you discover today?
Did you know? 5 children. Vanished without a trace? Imagine waking up in the middle of the night because your house is on fire. You rush outside. Your family is screaming. The flames are swallowing everything. But when the fire is finally extinguished, 5 of your children are simply gone. No bodies, no answers, no explanation. This isn't a horror movie. It actually happened. And more than 75 years later, nobody knows what really happened. This is the mysterious disappearance of the Sodder children. It was Christmas Eve. December 24th, 1945. The Sodder family lived in a small town called Fayetteville, West Virginia. George and Jenny Sodder had 10 children. That Christmas night was like countless others. The younger children begged to stay up late and play with their new toys while their parents headed to bed. Around 1 in the morning, Jenny answered a strange phone call. The woman on the other end asked for someone Jenny didn't recognize. There was laughter in the background. Then, the caller hung up. Jenny thought it was odd but ignored it. She noticed the lights downstairs were still on. The doors were unlocked. The curtains were open. She turned everything off and went back to bed. She had no idea those would be the last peaceful moments her family would ever have. About 30 minutes later, Jenny awoke again. This time, she smelled smoke. Fire was spreading rapidly through the house. George rushed everyone awake. Together they managed to escape with 4 of the children, but 5 were still upstairs. Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and little Betty. George tried to save them. He ran for the ladder he always kept beside the house. It was gone. He tried climbing onto the roof using his work trucks. Neither truck would start. Both had been working perfectly the day before. The telephone lines were dead. Neighbors tried calling the fire department, but because of the time and the lack of an organized emergency system, firefighters didn't arrive until the next morning. By then, the house was nothing but ashes. Investigators searched through the ruins. Their conclusion was simple. The missing children had died in the fire. Case closed. Except there was one enormous problem. No human remains were ever found. Experts later pointed out that even in extremely hot house fires, bones usually remain, but investigators found nothing, not a single confirmed bone fragment belonging to the 5 missing children. How could 5 people completely disappear? Then things became even stranger. Witnesses began coming forward. One woman claimed she saw the children looking out of a passing car while the house burned. Another waitress reported serving breakfast to several children, matching their descriptions the following morning. A hotel owner claimed the children had stayed there shortly after Christmas with 2 unidentified adults. No one could prove these sightings. But there were enough of them to make the Sodders question everything. George Sodder refused to believe his children died in the fire. He became convinced they had been kidnapped. Years earlier, George had openly criticized the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini. Some people had threatened him over his opinions. In fact, just before the fire, a stranger reportedly warned George that his house would burn down and his children would be destroyed because of his political views. At the time, George dismissed it. After the fire, he never forgot it. Then investigators made another shocking discovery. The fire hadn't started because of faulty wiring. Evidence suggested it may have begun with something thrown onto the roof. Some believe it could have been an early incendiary device. Others disagree. To this day, no definitive cause has ever been proven. Years passed, but the mystery refused to die. The Sodders erected a massive billboard along the highway featuring photographs of the missing children. It became one of America's most recognizable missing person displays. Every lead, every phone call, every rumor. They investigated all of them. Most led nowhere. Then, in 1967, more than 20 years after the fire, Jenny received an envelope in the mail. Inside was a photograph of a man in his 20s. On the back was a handwritten note. It read, "Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie. Illil Boys A90132 or 35. No return address, no explanation." The man in the photograph strongly resembled Louis as an adult. The Sodders believed it was their son. George immediately hired a private investigator to travel and investigate the lead. The investigator disappeared and was never heard from again. Whether that's coincidence or connected to the mystery, no one knows. As the years went on, the family never stopped searching. George died believing his children had survived. Jenny kept the billboard standing for decades. Even today, researchers still debate what happened. Did the children perish in the flames despite the missing remains? Were they kidnapped before or during the fire? Was the blaze deliberately set to cover up an abduction? Or is there another explanation entirely? No theory answers every question. And that's exactly what makes this case so haunting. Even now, the disappearance of the Sodder children remains one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. A fire consumed the house. But somehow, 5 children vanished without a trace. So, what do you think happened? Did investigators overlook crucial evidence, or were the Sodder children taken that Christmas night? Let me know your theory in the comments. And if you love true mysteries that will keep you awake long after the video ends, subscribe to Did You Know Daily Minute, because tomorrow's mystery may be even stranger than today's.